Plantastic Neuroplastic Meatballs. Say that 3 times fast. Hey guys, it's Britt and welcome back to my channel. For today's recipe, we are sharing another one from the 30 Days Alzheimer Solution by Dean and Aisha Sherzite. This is the new cookbook that just came out a couple months ago. We made the yellow split pea soup with pomegranates last week, and I will link that up above. Every month we've been featuring one cookbook we really enjoy for one of our videos for the week, and then the other video we make is a original recipe that's made by me. So this has been a lot of fun kind of going through our favorite plant-based books. So for today's recipe, we're going to make the meatballs, and I'm not even going to say the name. It's like such a tongue twister. I'll post it on the screen now. You guys would have seen the outtakes prior. It's just, you know. It's on page 156. It is the meatballs. I'm going to show you how to make this SOS free. Talk about how you can make it fit for your lifestyle. You guys know I'm all about adapting recipes to fit whatever plant-based, you know, plan that you're on. Whatever you like, you should tweak it to what your family enjoys. So I'm always encouraging you guys to adapt the recipes for that. For today's recipe, I'm going to do just that. We aren't going to use any salt. We're not going to use any oil. We're going to bake the meatballs. And I love this recipe because it has such nice ingredients that it's a really great dinner for throughout the week or a busy weekend. It doesn't take long to make ahead at all, especially if you do a couple things prior. So some things I did prior was that I already had beets that were already cooked, ready to go in our refrigerator. So that was really easy just to pull out and grate. I had a sweet potato that I already had cooked prior, and I had some cooked quinoa. So really having those things kind of done ahead of time makes this like a dream recipe to throw together. Now, I won't be giving you guys exact measurements. You guys should go and support the cookbook and the authors, so I will link it down below if you want to purchase it. You can get a rough idea of what I'm going to do, and I'll post the ingredients, not the amounts, but just the ingredients on the screen now. But again, I want you guys to go support it if you guys think this is something you might be interested in. So, we're going to get started. I have some cooked red quinoa here. I'm also going to add in pretty much everything else to the recipe. Now, there is one part that you have to do ahead of time, which is to take one slice of bread, and it can be any bread if you're gluten-free, whatever bread you like. I have some Ezekiel bread here, and we're gonna put the non-dairy milk on top of it and just kind of soak it in the non-dairy milk so that it softens. So I have that in the bowl now. Just one slice of bread. So that's gonna sit for like 5 minutes while I do everything else. All right, so I have our quinoa. I have clean hands. I have our beet that I grated. And if you're worried about getting your hands stained by beets, you should wear gloves. You know, my hands are, I'm an art teacher, so, you know, I'm fine with fine with a little stained hands for a couple of days. That doesn't bother me. Usually I paint and everything else. Alright, so I also have a cooked sweet potato that I removed the skins that I've kind of mashed with a fork. I'm going to add that in. Alright, I have our seasonings. Really easy, guys. It's not going to take long at all. I have a lime that I'm just going to squeeze out the juice. You also could zest the lime. Alright, looks good. To the side. I have some greens that I chopped down. If you don't have spinach, I'm sure you can use any greens for this. You just want to make sure they're finely chopped. And then we're gonna add the bread. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna mix in all of this and then add that in once it has a little bit longer to just kind of soak. So then we're gonna roll our meatballs out. You can use breadcrumbs or oat flour if you need it to hold its shape a little bit better. per the directions. So I have some breadcrumbs sitting on the side. We'll see if I need them. I'm just gonna kind of incorporate everything, again, with clean hands. We're gonna roll our meatballs. Now, in the cookbook, it does have that you saute in a little bit of oil and then you bake them. We're just gonna skip that step and it works perfect. So don't worry about that. Again, if you are SOS free, you know, you can adapt all of these to be what you personally fit. I'm always changing things up, even for what I have available on hand, especially during the pandemic. It was really great to kind of test your cooking skills, to kind of work with what you got and not be running to the grocery store. So, you know, if you have a box of spring mix greens, that would work. If you like something and dislike something else, you can kind of play around with it. So that's why I love this. And it does make a beautiful red color because of the beets, which is really awesome. It's also not crazy amount of beets, so if you're curious that this might taste too much like beets, I wouldn't worry about it. Alright, looks good. I'm gonna add the bread. Changed out my battery, so we're all good. So I'm gonna add the bread in with the remaining non-dairy milk, and then I also have a baking sheet lined with parchment paper that I'm gonna roll out our meatballs. If they're not holding its shape, I'm gonna add some breadcrumbs, or you could add oat flour, but that's kind of see how it goes, right? That's last option. So I'm gonna add the bread in now. And I'm gonna kind of rip up the bread and form it into the meatballs. Super easy. Like I said, if you are looking for something to make, this also in the recipe book says that it could be great burgers. So I think that's a really nice option. Even if you don't want to make them as meatballs, you can make them into patties. And I'll let you guys know how long they are going to go into the oven for. I'm going to start them at 400 degrees, and I will keep you guys posted at the end when we take them out how long it takes. But I'm guessing it's going to go a little bit longer than the amount of time they have, just because we're going to skip the frying step. Alright, they are a little bit not holding up as well, so I'm just going to add in a little bit of breadcrumbs, probably around 1/4 of a cup. So I'm going to put that in now. And that's whole wheat breadcrumbs. And in the show notes down below, I'll put all of the substitutions that I made to this recipe, just so that those of you guys that are SOS free, if you want to follow it and make it like I did, that's perfect. Alright, make your little meatballs now. And we're going to add them to our baking dish. Alright guys, in 30 minutes you have beautiful meatballs. Now they are still going to be soft. We didn't use any oil really to make like a crusted outside shell of it. So they are going to be a little bit soft, but the key is that bake them for 30 minutes at the temperature in the cookbook. Let them sit for around 5 minutes after they come out. Use like a little mini spatula to carefully scoop them out, and they will get like a little bit easier to pick up and a little bit harder. It's still going to be a little bit soft on the inside because we used quinoa and sweet potatoes and beets to really, that's what this is made out of. So just keep that in mind, but it does make it able to pick up. And these would be fantastic patties. So I'm going to eat one on camera for you guys, but it's just so nice. I actually like that it has a little bit of a like harder outside, but then the inside is nice and soft still. You guys are going to really like this one. So this is from the 30-Day Alzheimer Solution Cookbook that came out. It's linked down below. Make sure you go check it out. On page 156. It's so good. Make it as patties for burgers, make it as meatballs. You guys are gonna like this. It's so easy and quick to whip up. It's definitely going in a rotation. One of the things I really love about this cookbook is that it's like combinations of foods that I wouldn't have tried. Like putting in quinoa into a meatball with some lime and all the seasonings, but also adding in the sweet potato and beets. Like, it's just such a nice creative combination of foods. Same with the soup I made last time, which is linked up above if you haven't checked it out, but so good. So make sure you guys check this out. Check out the show notes and our website. Make sure you subscribe. If not, I make whole food plant-based recipes every week, multiple times a week. I'd love to have you as part of our community. All of our stuff is SOS free, and I hope you guys stick around. So I'll see you guys real soon for the next one. Leave us a comment on if you made these and what you think. I'll see you guys real soon. I'm gonna go enjoy. Bye. These would also travel really, really well.